There's no doubt in my mind that Steven Spielberg is one of the greatest movie directors of all time. He's responsible for some of my personal favorite movies, and now his latest film is called The Fabelmans. It's essentially a retelling of his childhood, and it's awesome. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Before we get started, click on that red subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you know whenever I post a new piece of content. Okay, so Spielberg, Jaws, E.T., Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jurassic Park, the Indiana Jones trilogy. The guy is great. Saving Private Ryan. He's responsible for some of my all-time favorite movies. I adore Jurassic Park. The Indiana Jones trilogy to me is just the truth. I love everything about that series. I don't like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I'm interested to see what they do with Dial of Destiny, but I am Team Spielberg all the way. I adore the guy. The music of his films is iconic, and he's just a great director. He does a really good job of mixing innovative, new, fresh filming techniques with fantastic story and great production design. So I'm a huge fan of everything he does. Saving Private Ryan, arguably the greatest war movie ever made. Jurassic Park, phenomenal action movie, like top 10 all-time favorite. Jaws, are you kidding me? E.T., as I mentioned, his work is just great. He's done some good comedies too, like Catch Me If You Can. And I love the guy. So I was excited to see what his next project was. I even like his last movie, West Side Story, despite the fact that it was kind of a box office bomb. And this, when I watched the trailer for this, I was like immediately stricken because I was like, oh, this is cool. This is a retelling of his childhood. If you've heard any sort of interviews or know about Spielberg's growing up, you know that him smashing trains together and then filming it is kind of how he got his start in the movie making business as a young boy. And all of that is explored here in great detail. And that stuff is cool, but it's not what's great about the movie. What's great about The Fabelmans is that while that stuff is there, it's much more of a fantastic family drama. And I guess you could say kind of a coming of age story, although the family stuff is really what makes this movie special. And the title of the film, The Fabelmans, is appropriate. It's just a story about a family. And that's really it. And a boy who has this incredible creative imagination and his very complicated relationship with his parents. And his parents' very complicated relationship with him. And his parents' very complicated relationship with each other. And that's what's special about the movie, is that it tells what could be a very kind of generic and bland story about the kid who makes the movie and then everyone loves it and then he becomes this great filmmaker. And the movie's really not that. And I think that's what makes it special, is that it tackles some really, really heady subjects, and does so in some pretty direct and intriguing and frankly heartbreaking and inspiring ways. It runs the gamut of emotions. It makes you laugh, it makes you cry, it makes you feel. This is one of his best films. The performances that he gets out of his actors, in particular, Paul Dano and Michelle Williams as Sam's parents. Sam is basically young Steven Spielberg. And these performances are great across the board. And I really, really like this movie. It's one of the best movies of 2022. And if you like good, solid drama films, The Fabelmans has everything. And Spielberg, what's cool about watching this is you can see where these moments in his life inspired certain movies. You can see the inspiration, a little bit of the inspiration for something like Schindler's List. When you look at how he was treated as a young Jewish boy in California, you can see the inspiration for everything, for The Terminal, for Saving Private Ryan. You can see all the inspiration directly there on screen. And I think it's really cool because he didn't have to make this movie, and I think he's earned the right to make a film like this. And it's really unique because you don't often get a look at what makes somebody tick as a filmmaker. And this movie does that, and it does a fantastic job of it. So bravo to Spielberg. He's made another phenomenal movie, and you should check out The Fabelmans. Thank you so much for checking out the video. If you liked it, found it helpful, consider subscribing. You'd also like and share the video. That tells the powers that be it's worth promoting. And hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think of The Fabelmans, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m.